Welcome to our next session, The Future of Revenue Recognition, a RevRec Pioneer's Next Act. I'm very excited about this session. I'm joined by Jagan Reddy, who's the CEO and founder of RightRev. As many know, Jagan was the founder of Leo, which was acquired by Zuora. The product is RevPro. And after Jagan left Zuora, many in the industry were wondering what his next act would be. Well, we're delighted to have him join us here at the Monetize Forum and talk about his new venture, RightRev. So welcome, Jagan.
Thanks, Andrew. Happy to be with you on one.
So you sold Leo very successfully to Zuora in 2017. You then ran the RevPro team there, and then you left in 2019. Presumably you could be doing anything right now, and yet here you are in revenue recognition, the automated revenue management market space. Why?
You know, we built RevPro 10 years ago to support EITF 081 standards, and later updated to support ASC 606 and IFRS 15. RevPro has become the world leader in revenue recognition automation, and it continues to be the leader in that space. While Zuora Revenue RevPro is very robust and supports complex customers and large enterprises, I see a void in the market for a simple and easy to use revenue solution for small and mid-sized companies. Also, more customers are moving into subscription model and hybrid models. The market needs a revenue solution that can do more than revenue recognition at a hyperscale to handle huge volume of transactions.
So you just mentioned some of those, but what do you really see as the real opportunities around innovation in this space? What were you hearing from customers, or presumably you're out talking to prospects and customers now? What are they telling you that's missing in the market?
Now, one common theme we are hearing in the market is to have a simple and easy solution to implement and to use on a day-to-day basis. While other solutions can support wide range of complexity and use cases, 80% of customers don't have complex requirements. All they are looking for is low cost of ownership and easy to use solution. And innovation doesn't need to come from functionality and use cases. Using best of breed technology to solve complex problems can create a fantastic user experience for customers.
So what's the typical kind of size of organization, or what are the characteristics of the organization that you're targeting? And what do you see those specific CFOs looking for?
Being a revenue solution provider, the software deals with quote to cash data, which can be leveraged for generating the complete financial model for sales operations. None of the existing systems provide this. Measuring the overall finance close process and automating this process will help keep the overall cost low for CFO office and continue to scale their businesses. And the other important thing that we're seeing is ERPs are being looked as financial ledger these days because of the other best of breed solution. And innovation to disrupt the financial ledger sector is very imminent.
Yeah, so we talk about it at MGI as RevRec as almost the revenue radar. And you and I have had this conversation for a couple of years now about, wouldn't it be nice if before booking a deal, you could actually look at what the impact on both bookings and recognized revenue would be, so that you could make different business choices based off of that information. So it sounds like that's kind of what you're thinking about, or what you're talking about here.
Exactly. It's going broader than just doing the accounting service for revenue. How can you impact the other teams and the overall financial model within an organization?
Got it. So you also mentioned how kind of the ERP systems and certainly the general ledgers, there hasn't been a lot of innovation that's taken place in that space in well over a decade. But for a lot of organizations, they want to think of their financial system as kind of a core backbone of their financial operations. And now you see Salesforce coming into the market and many companies beginning to think of that as kind of a core centerpiece of their overall IT and business and financial applications. Where do you see the role of Salesforce and kind of industry platforms in this picture? And then I guess as a follow-up to that is, when you began architecting RightRev, how did you think about what technologies to use and how to either work with or not the different platforms that are out there?
Yeah, I think fantastic question. One of the big thing when we look at Salesforce and other partners, the big shift in the trend that's happening in the marketplace is businesses are moving away from ERP centric, and then they're moving into more of a CRM centric. When we look at this shift happening where they want to revolve around their customer 360, Salesforce becomes a very prominent player in becoming an ERP-centric platform for most of the businesses. We have a fantastic partnership with Salesforce, and we're working with them very closely to drive lead to revenue automation. Our solution is built on hybrid model using a third-party cloud-based engine and a Salesforce App Exchange app so that Salesforce users can perform all the revenue operations within the Salesforce ecosystem. We also store all the revenue data within Salesforce platform, which will enable Salesforce as a single source of truth for lead to revenue operations. Today, customers have to take this data to an ERP or third-party solutions to do the revenue. We are completely shutting off that and saying, do everything within the Salesforce platform for the Salesforce ecosystem. And to also go to market strategy, we will be relying on partners for a go-to-market strategy. We are working with some big four accounting firms to see how we can partner with them, and they are super eager to work with us as well. And then from a Salesforce perspective, the leading Salesforce SI partners would love to partner with us. They're all like super excited to see the biggest gap in the lead to revenue automation. We are filling that gap and enabling Salesforce to become a single source of truth for this lead to revenue automation. While we have an app built for Salesforce, we are not just limited to Salesforce. We also have an app that works for non-Salesforce customers like Oracle, NetSuite, SAP. So even those customers can use RightRev to do their revenue automation.
So when you began architecting new solution, the technologies that are available to you today are far different from what you had available when you started Leo. Mm-hmm. What was the biggest kind of surprise, given that you haven't been kind of hands-on in the product for some time, but now presumably you've been more engaged? What's been the biggest surprise when you look at what's possible today versus when you started?
Yeah, I think 10 years back when we started Leo RevPro, the biggest disadvantage we had was technology at that point. We clearly knew the large enterprises will have a lot of transactions. We need to do a better job for them in crunching the numbers on time and everything. The technology was not good enough. One of the big leap in the last 10 years is the evolution of the technology. And with RightRev, we are using certain technologies which are super amazing, where with the use of the best technology, we can provide a fantastic user experience. And there is a lot of activities that we did in the previous world where users had no idea about what's going on in the system. With the new technology that we have, our current system is going to bring all those black box, what we call as a black box, where users doesn't know what's happening. We are bringing to the users to make them understand how these things are being calculated, how can they do things on their own. The technology is helping us to get there. And we all know subscriptions or recurring transactions and revenue, which brings huge volume of data. how can we enable a faster closing process for our users? We are super confident now we can enable that for our customers in a super fast model.
When the other issue around data for a lot of companies is also the issue of data cleanliness and just data management, and getting in and out of different systems and keeping everything in sync, kind of the data mediation piece. What do you see as being possible today that you kind of wish you had back then, or that you're excited about today?
I think it goes back to the same thing, how quickly you can process this data, how much you can deploy the machine learning and artificial intelligence to identify issues within your data, so you can bring up all the issues back to the users. It's not that every data issues can be solved by the system, but what our user community is looking for is, show me what's the issue, at least I can go and fix it. It's more important, right? Enable the users to identify data issues and see if they can go and fix it. And as they fix, our machine learning and artificial intelligence is continuously learning what they're fixing and try to see if we can automate that process as well. And all this is capable only because of how fast you can process those data and how quickly you can learn the user behavior with us.
Well, speaking of learning user behavior, you've spent a lot of time with companies, large and small, in their finance operations. In your experience, when you look at kind of the top performing finance teams and revenue accounting teams, what do they do from a process, from a culture point of view, that really distinguishes them from everyone else?
You see, top performing finance teams are measuring their effectiveness by looking at how quickly they can close their books, what percentage of errors found in their audits, how accurately they are in the revenue predictions. They can do all this only when they have a reliable automation system. It's not just revenue, right? The entire lead to revenue has to be automated in the right way. And that's where I see this top performing finance teams define proper processes to ensure good data is captured all through the upstream systems so that it allows enough automation end to end. When you do the right automation, the team can focus on value-driven activities rather than operational activities that consumes most of the time.
So ASC 606 was a big driver for people to automate, or at least begin the process of automating the revenue accounting. What do you see? And so people have done, a fair degree of automation. What do you see as kind of the next big step change in revenue accounting? What's going to really drive this market in a big way?
Yeah. So when users were super focused to go and adopt ASC 606, I wouldn't agree everybody has done a fantastic automation. They have done partial automation. They're doing a lot of things in spreadsheets still. A lot of customers that we are talking to, we are seeing they want better efficiency in what they're doing. There's a lot of things happening in spreadsheets and manual work. It's getting cumbersome. And then they're becoming a roadblocker for the business to scale and do new things and offer new products and all of this. So there is still a huge push for a better automation in the market. They want to have a better system, better automation, so that they can get better efficiency and accuracy in their number predictions. When they get through this, the next step is going to be, how can I do a better prediction of my business for the future? That's the next question, right? Like you asked me before, if a sales rep is booking a deal and he doesn't know how it's going to impact the revenue, they will just go give deeper discounts or different discounts for different products, and they'll close the deal without knowing the impact to the revenue. The other day, we were trying to do a demo to a customer, and they were super happy to see how they can interact to the sales reps and other people on the deal desk to ask questions about their revenue contract, saying, hey, we have some questions on this revenue contract. Can you do a different discount? In this way, our revenue can be structured in a better way. these interactions and getting better revenue predictions is the biggest focus for the customers as soon as they adopt this complete ASC6 automation.
Yeah, and certainly we saw that everyone experienced kind of firsthand the importance of that linkage between sales ops, sales teams, sales commissions, and revenue accounting. So completely agree on that. As an entrepreneur who's had a successful exit and is back at it again, what are the, what do you wish, what do you know now that you wish you knew then that you're bringing to RightRev today?
Yeah, great question. So 10 years back, I'm sure you know this, 10 years back, I created this revenue recognition automation space. There was not really a solution that can do all this automation. I created this space, brought in RevPro. Literally, we showed the customer that they can automate this complete revenue recognition end to end. Every time we went to the demo, customers would ask, where were you all these days? We never knew you can automate this. That was the constant feedback we were getting. We were successful in showing customers we can do all this. But what we could have done better in those days is we could have done the right thing and help customers adapt to it instead of we were absorbing everything that the customer were asking and trying to build in the product. We as a thought leader could have driven that process much better, right? What's easier now is we have ideas, design, and plan to give our users a better experience and a better life in this space. But what's hard, we already gave revenue user community a gold standard product, RevPro. Now our challenge is how can we exceed their expectations, right? User community is looking for a life-changer product, and we wish we would be the one soon.
Got it. Well, I completely agree with you on the issue around change management. I think that's a perennial topic and challenge for every organization, regardless of what technology era or solutions we're working with. Mm-hmm. So, Jagan, thanks very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. And I know there's more information at the RightRev booth. You're going to hang around for the networking. So thanks again. And thanks for being here at the Monetize Forum.
Absolutely. I appreciate you making us part of the Monetize Forum as well. Thank you, Andrew.